Hey guys, welcome in. This is our 31 Days of Prevention series where we come together to share information, inspiration, and motivation to increase awareness and prevent future and ongoing domestic violence. My name is Marci Batiste. I'm the founder and executive director at 9 Seconds, which is a progressive nonprofit organization with a heart-centered mission but a non-traditional approach to domestic violence prevention. Every 9 seconds, in this country, a woman is either abused or assaulted, and that's not okay. It's not okay. But we also understand here that the answer also is it's just not that simple. It's a complex problem with a lot of layers and a lot of inner moving parts, and that you have to break down and address. So that's part of the reason for this series, is to give you different ways to think about domestic violence, different level of understanding about what's involved. We're doing some interviews throughout the month of October for Domestic Violence Awareness Month, to give you some insight on what women are going through in these abusive relationships. Today's message really is about people pleasing and why that is a dangerous path to operate on. From a reformed people pleaser myself, my entire life I was a people pleaser. Understanding why you are a people pleaser is a big part of being able to break that cycle. And prevention is about changing cycles. It's about adjusting our mindset, changing how we think. The challenge to change essentially is about your mindset and how you look at things and why you do the things that you do. For me, I always knew, because I was a people pleaser in my career, I was a people pleaser in my family, and I was a people pleaser in my intimate relationships. My career, that was kind of okay. It worked out pretty well. I did well for myself. My family, not so much. Intimate relationships, huge problem. Here's what I understood. I understood that I had a need for validation. Always have known that. I knew that I needed to feel accepted. Always knew that. I knew that I just wanted to be liked, right? Being liked was very important to me. What I didn't understand until after I was assaulted by my ex in 2012, which was the final step in my abusive cycle of choosing relationships, what I realized there was that abandonment issues that I had from way back, dealing with my father from the time I was a toddler. So the broken down, hurt, defenseless little girl was calling shots in my relationships, and she was like, I just want to be liked. I just want to be chosen. I just want your approval. I just want you to tell me that I'm a good girl. That too was calling the shots. And so she was running my life. So outwardly, I was making choices based on her needs. I don't do that anymore. And this is why it became dangerous in intimate relationships in particular, because people pleasing only works while you're pleasing people. Okay? People pleasing can only happen when people are pleased. What I understood was whether people were pleased or not did not revolve around anything that I did. Their happiness, their being pleased, was never about me. I was making their stuff about me, and it wasn't about me. It was about them, particularly in the context of an abusive relationship. So preventing domestic violence, getting out of an abusive relationship and preventing it from continuing means shifting how we engage with people and understanding that our people-pleasing ways don't work. They don't work because it's impossible to please everybody all the time, because everybody sets a new standard. So every time you reach one level, then the expectation increases, and then you reach that level and it increases again. So eventually you fall short, you feel like a failure, and you're left feeling empty, depleted, and defeated. Okay? That's why people pleasing doesn't work. That's why you have to change it. But in the context of an abusive relationship, you also have to be very aware of where you are in the cycle of abuse and fully understanding what a cycle looks like, where you are, how long they typically last, because it can be, you beginning to change and grow can be dangerous if you just all of a sudden flip the script and be like, I don't give a damn anymore. You can't necessarily do that in all instances. Some it works, but not in all. So I want everyone to understand, I'm not telling you just go out and flip the script. But what I'm saying is become aware of why you're people pleasing and the impact that that's having on you, and watch to see that it doesn't have their level of happiness is not connected to your ability to be successful. Their happiness is not even your responsibility. So you're trying to fulfill an objective that's not even yours to fulfill. Happiness is an inside job. So with an abusive relationship, you start with the awareness, you start with heightened paying attention to what's going on around you, paying attention to the ebbs and the flows and the dynamic of the relationship. And then you eventually begin to start making a plan, an exit strategy for how you extricate yourself from the relationship, from the situation. And that's different for everybody. And we'll do a whole series on exit planning, because it's not a simple one stop, one shop, check the box. That doesn't work necessarily in your favor, because it can be a dangerous time. But this people pleasing thing, you can gradually start easing your way out of it. And if you're in an abusive relationship, you may want to start with some external relationships, because your people pleasing is feeding into the power and control that the domestic violence thrives on, right? So that domestic abuse is about power and control, maintaining power and control over you. As long as you feel less than, unaccepted, unworthy, then and continue to try and people please, then that allows them to hold their grip. But you can practice maybe on family. You can practice sometimes on your kids, because if you are an innate people pleaser like I was, you applied that across the board. You tried to please everybody with everything, and it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And then you end up losing out on all fronts. So that's the message for today. If you have more questions about people pleasing, how to stop the cycle, how to break the cycle, alter your habits, reach out to me, reach out to one of my training or support advocates. You can contact any one of us at 9seconds.org. You can also reach me directly on any social media platforms, including the one that you happen to be watching this video on. So that's the message for today, guys. We'll be back tomorrow with another message in our 31 Days of Prevention series. And as always, if you hear something, share something. So please share the video out. You just never know who's on your timeline, who needs a word today, and who this message might speak to specifically. So in the meantime and in between time, guys, stay well, stay happy, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay safe. And we'll talk to y'all soon.